Welcome, fellow adventurers, to our journey today. Our destination? A place where nature's power and beauty collide in a spectacular show. The Niagara Falls. Picture this, 3 thunderous waterfalls cascading over sharp cliffs, their roar echoing in your ears, their misty spray on your face. Yes, this is where we're headed, so buckle up, grab your umbrellas, and let's dive into the captivating world of Niagara Falls. But remember, this isn't just any ordinary tour, it's a journey filled with fun facts, unexpected showers, and awe-inspiring views. Stay tuned because you're in for a treat. Ever wonder why tourists at Niagara Falls carry umbrellas? It's not because they're expecting rain, but rather an impromptu shower from the falls. Welcome to the majestic Niagara Falls, a breathtaking spectacle that straddles the border between the United States and Canada. This isn't just any waterfall, oh no. It's a world-renowned wonder that's been mesmerizing visitors for centuries. Now, let's talk numbers, and mind you, these are as big as the falls themselves. Every single minute, more than 6 million cubic feet of water tumble over the edge. That's enough to fill about 50 Olympic-sized swimming pools, and with that colossal volume of water comes an equally impressive cloud of mist. This mist, my friends, is the culprit behind the unexpected showers that leave unsuspecting tourists drenched from head to toe. It's almost as if the falls have a playful side, catching visitors off guard with a refreshing spritz. So, if you don't want to look like a drowned rat in your holiday pictures, pack an umbrella. Niagara Falls is not just one waterfall, but 3. So where should you start? Well, let's break it down. The Niagara Falls is a trio of cascading waterfalls straddling the international border between the United States and Canada. They consist of the American Falls, the Bridal Veil Falls, and the Horseshoe Falls. Each one is a showstopper in its own right, making up a symphony of thunderous water and misty rainbows that's hard to forget. First up is the American Falls. It's entirely on the American side, and it's a sight to behold. It's like watching Mother Nature's own version of a reality TV show, with the water playing the lead role and the surrounding rocks acting as the supporting cast. Next we have the Bridal Veil Falls. Now this waterfall is like the younger sibling of the American Falls, a bit smaller but with just as much spirit. Its name comes from its veil-like appearance, and I assure you it's more eye-catching than any wedding dress you'll ever see. Last, but certainly not least, is the Horseshoe Falls. It's the largest of the 3 and mostly on the Canadian side. It's like the big brother of the trio, with a curve that's reminiscent of a horseshoe, hence the name. It's the one that usually ends up on postcards and screensavers, stealing the limelight from its sibling falls. Now here's a funny thing. Tourists often get confused about which waterfall is which. It's like a real-life game of who's who, but with waterfalls. Imagine someone standing in front of the American Falls, swearing they're looking at the Horseshoe Falls. It happens more often than you'd think, and it's always good for a laugh. So, there you have it. 3 magnificent waterfalls, each with their own personality and charm. But remember, if you're not sure which waterfall you're looking at, just ask a squirrel. They're the real locals. Want to know the best time to visit Niagara Falls? When it's not frozen, of course. Now don't get me wrong, Niagara Falls is a sight to behold all year round. But if you're looking for the most spectacular view, you might want to plan your visit around the warmer months. Spring, with the blooming flowers and pleasant weather, is a popular time. You'll witness the falls roar back to life after the winter freeze. Summer, on the other hand, offers the perfect conditions for a boat ride into the misty heart of the falls. Fall brings a splash of color to the surrounding landscape, creating picturesque views that you wouldn't want to miss. And winter, well, it transforms the falls into a frozen wonderland. But remember, it's not exactly the best time to show up with your ice skates, hoping for a quick glide down the falls. So, unless you fancy ice skating down a waterfall, maybe avoid the winter months. The age-old debate, which side is better, Canadian or American? It's a question that has plagued mankind since Niagara Falls was discovered. Let's dive into this riveting conundrum, shall we? First, let's look at the Canadian side. Now the Canadians have a bit of an advantage here because their side of the falls is, well, bigger. It's like they scooped up all the water they could find and just dumped it over the edge. If you're a fan of large volumes of water cascading down cliffs, then the Canadian side might be your cup of tea. And let's be honest, who isn't a fan of that? Now, onto the American side. While the Canadian side may have cornered the market on water, the Americans have something the Canadians don't: squirrels. That's right, folks, squirrels. These little critters are everywhere on the American side. They're in the trees, on the pathways, and if you're not careful, they might even be in your backpack. So, if you're an avid squirrel watcher or just love the antics of these fluffy-tailed creatures, the American side might be your playground. Of course, we're not saying that the Canadian side doesn't have squirrels, or that the American side doesn't have water. It's just that when it comes to the sheer volume of water or the number of squirrels, each side has its own bragging rights. So, which side should you visit? Well, that depends on what you value more: the breathtaking spectacle of water thundering down a cliff, or the charming hustle and bustle of squirrels going about their day. It's a tough call, isn't it? In the end, whether you choose the Canadian side or the American side, you're in for a treat. Both sides offer unique experiences and stunning views that are sure to leave you in awe. So, if you're a fan of water, go to the Canadian side. If you're a fan of squirrels, go to the American side. Now, you can't just go to Niagara Falls and just look at water all day, or can you? Well, even if you could, there's so much more to see and do around this natural wonder. And no, we're not talking about taking a dip in the falls. It's not a swimming pool, folks. Let's start with the Butterfly Conservatory, a tropical paradise that's home to over 2,000 free-flying butterflies. But be warned, you might spend more time here than you planned. There's this one guy, Bob, who visited last summer. He was so fascinated by the butterflies that he almost missed his flight home. He was found in the conservatory, completely lost in the world of these winged beauties, oblivious to the passing time. Next stop, Clifton Hill, a street that's more like a continuous carnival. It's filled with wax museums, haunted houses, and mini golf courses. A word of caution though, always keep an eye on the map. We heard a hilarious story about a group of tourists who got so engrossed in the House of Frankenstein, they ended up wandering around Clifton Hill for hours, completely lost, until a kind-hearted local guided them back. And then we have the Niagara Skywheel. Imagine a Ferris wheel ride, but one that gives you a bird's-eye view of the breathtaking Niagara Falls. Just don't be like that couple who took the ride during a thunderstorm. They wanted to experience the falls in its full fury. Let's just say, they got more than they bargained for. And if you're up for more adventure, there's always the Whirlpool Aero Car, the Whitewater Walk, the Floral Clock, the list goes on. Just remember to wear comfortable shoes. And remember, if you get lost, just follow a squirrel. They know where they're going. And if that doesn't work, well, you can always ask a butterfly. They seem to have a pretty good sense of direction. Well, that's it, folks. That's your guide to surviving Niagara Falls without getting too wet, or lost, or chased by squirrels. If you've been keeping up, you're now an honorary Niagara navigator ready to conquer the misty might of this natural wonder. Let's take a moment to splash through what we've covered. First, we dove into the unexpected shower because nothing says welcome to Niagara Falls like a spontaneous drenching. Remember, it's not about the rain, it's about the rainbow that follows. Next, we navigated the wheres and the whens. We learned that the best time to visit is between June and August when the sun is out and the falls are at their most photogenic. But hey, don't let a little thing like winter stop you. If you're a fan of giant icicles and winter wonderlands, Niagara in the colder months is a sight to behold. Then came the great debate: Canadian or American side. Both sides offer unique vantage points and experiences. The Canadian side is more about the panoramic views, while the American side gets you up close and personal with the falls. It's like choosing between a wide-angle lens and a macro lens. Both are great, it just depends on what you're after. And finally, we explored the things to do. From the iconic Maid of the Mist boat tour to the jaw-dropping journey behind the falls, there's something for everyone. Just remember to pack your sense of adventure, and maybe a waterproof camera. In the end, visiting Niagara Falls is about more than just seeing a waterfall. It's about the journey, the adventure, and the stories you'll have to tell. Whether you're a thrill seeker, a nature lover, or a squirrel enthusiast, Niagara Falls awaits with open arms. So grab your umbrella, your sense of adventure, and your squirrel repellent, and have a great time at Niagara Falls.